Hi Scorpio, it's Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your July 2017 Soul Tarot reading. I'm very excited to be here with you, and I'm going to jump in as fast as I can. There's a lot of energy coming through the cards. For those of you that are new, I am a clairvoyant person with a lot of those types of abilities, and through the evolving of my own pathway, I came here to YouTube in order to help Spirit get some messages out that were coming through to me. So I use the cards, and I channel messages from Spirit. There's a lot of energy. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of chatter already in the background, so let me just pause for a second. There is information in the description box below the video. If you are interested in a personal reading, I've been getting hundreds, literally hundreds of emails, and just came to realize that it's too much for me to manage that much flow in terms of getting back to everybody in a timely way. So I'm beginning to change it up. I'm not a techie, so bear with me. I decided to just put all the information you're going to need right on the video description box. If you have a question or something, feel free to email me. But if you're interested in a reading, just follow the instructions that are there. There is a PayPal link there so that you can make your reservation, and send me the information I request, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible with a date and time that works for you based on your availability during East Coast time zone. Okay? So, for all you folks who are returning viewers, welcome back. Holy cow, have you been on a journey? Along with really, all the signs. There is something astounding happening. If you haven't looked at the videos for the eclipses that happened in February, I would like you to please do that. If you're new and you haven't seen last month, at minimum go and watch that. These messages are building upon each other from Spirit month to month. So they're not standalone, and there's been a process evolving of great shift and change. And a couple months ago, Scorpio, like many of the other signs, you stepped on to the pathway of the initiate. And there has been a beautiful journey unfolding since that, since I've been here on YouTube, but definitely since that moment. Things are deepening, becoming a little bit more profound, more spiritually intense, if you will. Last month, you were traveling on the foundation of the ancients, and the outcome card was the Perfecter of Energy. A really beautiful card. In the traditional tarot, it's the World card. And the significance of that, as it relates to this month going forward, is that, you were being told by Spirit, this is the process. This is the point of the process. And there are going to be some more challenges and lessons and things being revealed to you over the course of the next year or so of your life. So, and ensuring you that you have the capacity. You do have the ability. The aspects are in your favor. And Spirit is very excited about this turn of events and the way in which humanity is moving forward. What I'm hearing is on the wheel of Pluto. So if you're not aware of the astrology, go and look up a little bit about what's happening with Pluto and what happens when Pluto is in the cardinal Earth sign, which is Capricorn. Pluto has been stationed there since 2008, I think. So it is affecting what's happening here on the Earth. It's interesting information, at least to me. And, basically anytime Pluto has been in Capricorn, we undergo massive shift and change. Revolutions happen. All kinds of things. Power structures are shredded. Upheaval, etc., etc. So, interesting times that we're in. So, Capricorn, Scorpio, last month, the outcome, the Perfecter of Energy. I love that this is here. And you have had some battle cards. You've been doing a little bit of battle, as we all have in our lives. So Here we have the Courtship of Battle laying right over the top of your reading. This is the message from Spirit about the theme, so to speak, this month that Spirit wants to chat about. This card gives the energy light, direction, thematic presence, and energetic impetus is what I'm getting from Spirit, actually, about where you're at. Continuing on from last month. So let's take a look at this. This is a very interesting card. Given that Spirit is working on perfecting your energy, you find yourself at this place. Okay, the Courtship of Battle. It's a 3 card, so kind of a new place to be in. Something significant has shifted. Do you see this beautiful scene depicted here? These are 2 warriors. I can't remember if this has come up in your readings so far. See the hut in the background? This is the moment of surrender, when both parties stop the struggle. And the chatter that I'm getting from Spirit is, you know, on a certain level, this is you, and this is Spirit. And the story behind the cards, these both are very skilled warriors. They had been doing battle with each other. She was trying to kill him, actually, for something that had happened. And Spirit's saying that's the little ill story behind the card is not important in this moment. It's the illustration that Spirit wants to use to speak with you, okay? So these people had been doing battle, and you know, they came to respect each other. Very much so, over time. And there was a relationship, if you will, a courtship that happened through the battle because of how deeply we come to know and be connected to those people with whom we do battle. That's what Spirit is saying. So, in this moment, when it looks like this warrior has, you know, she's been knocked into the river, she looks like she's being washed away, she's very, very unhappy, she surrenders to the situation. And at the same time, he does the same thing. He realizes, wait a minute, I don't want this to be happening. And he puts his sword into the ground, and he reaches out and grasps her by the wrist, and with her other hand, she actually lifts her sword up to him. And I don't know if you can tell, he's hanging on. They're both hanging on to the ballast of the sword. Do you see that? And she lifts herself up. And they save each other. They change the way their courtship is evolving. Okay, I'm getting a little download. So what Spirit's saying in the background is, having come to a very deep realization about the nature of battle, the time and energy that it takes to be in this aspect of existence, and the moment that arrives when you are willing to let it go and to grasp firmly that which is important. So that's the message that Spirit wants to relay about this reading. And also, the other thing that I'm getting is, you know, this is Spirit and this is you, right? So Spirit's here. Your energy is being perfected. You're being lifted up onto safe ground. And whatever that battle was all about, it's done. And it's time to shift your energy in another direction, toward opening your heart chakra, because you are standing in such a profound place. So it's interesting that Spirit just wanted to talk about that a little bit as the opening salvo. That's what I'm getting, the opening salvo. So let's see where you're at. So this is Spirit, okay? Energy, information, guide about this reading. You're coming to this new place. Spirit's here to lift you up. And don't worry. Don't worry. It's all going to be okay now. That's the message I'm getting. Whatever that's about, Scorpio. And maybe you've been involved in some battles in your life. There's a new courtship coming. All right? Something new is evolving. So, oh, look at that. There you go. The Liberator. That's beautiful. A beautiful major arcana card right in the center. This is you. So, Spirit wants me to do this. This is the new marriage, says Spirit. Oh, you know what? In fact, yeah, these people, when the battle was over, they actually had a real courtship through a heart chakra bonding. And they were able then to live together in peace. And that's why there's a little warming hut in the background and the fire, signifying safety and tranquility, home and hearth, etc. So here we are. You bonded with Spirit in this way, which is a liberation. And she is being liberated from her fate. He is being liberated from his fate that was on some... Here's what Spirit is sending through. On some level, in terms of human destiny, this is a fate that we thought we were locked into, and there was no way out. And Spirit is saying, absolutely, there is a way out, and it is through the evolving story that you are experiencing as a sacred warrior, having come through an initiation, in the process of perfecting your energy. So here this month, you at the center of the reading have been liberated from the background of the human story. And if you choose, you have the capacity. There's the shaman carrying the head. The ancient Celtic people believed that's where the soul resided. All right? There's the portal. A new life. The death, life, death cycle. Birth. A new birth, having been liberated from this entanglement, this eons-old entanglement with battle. That is over. And that includes, of course, the battles that you do with yourself, in your own heart and in your own psyche. So let's see. Oh, look. Scorpio, this is really exciting. When the cards first came out and I saw that, I thought, wow, that's not what I expected to see, but I'm understanding. I'm understanding as these are coming out. This is beautiful. And you know what? This came out in the reading for Libra. I love this card with a passion. Look at that beautiful warrior. This is the warrior of skill. You see, Spirit's telling me to do that. Actually, Spirit wants me to do this. Let me see if I can scroll in on that for you. Maybe? There we go. See that? Sometimes, questions come through, and the question is, okay, do you get it? It's kind of like that. Not exactly in those words, but Spirit wants you to see, okay? Instead of a warrior of this type of battle, you are liberated now because of your initiation and the fact that your energy is being perfected. And in that moment, when you take these steps and you come through the spiritual portal, having been liberated into your heart chakra, your heart mind chakra is what Spirit is saying, this is where you arrive. You become a warrior of skill. And you see the saddlebags? Look at that. He's holding magic and sustenance in his hands. Okay? The sustenance of the spiritual realm is what is coming through to me. And, look at him. He's got some vision now, doesn't he? He is robust. He is secure. He is happy. And he is looking into the future on the spiritual realm. That's what's coming through about this. Wow, you know what? I never noticed this. Check this out. Look at that energy. Aura around him. Look at that. Green, heart chakra, energy of growth and change. That's beautiful. And standing there in the twilight with the energy, the power, and the vision to go forward. This warrior in this deck is known to be somewhat impulsive, and it is the impulse of spirit, the creative impulse, right? Which is all about sacred male energy. It's the creative impulse. And in the moment when that creative impulse sparks inside of him, he will know. Spirit saying it's kind of like how I do the card shuffle, right? I just sometimes I shuffle for 20 minutes and I just sit here quietly, just very patiently. And I just wait and I shuffle and I shuffle and I shuffle, and suddenly comes a moment when I know it's done. And then I put the cards down. That's why I don't, put the shuffle on the video, because it would take forever and people would find it highly annoying. I happen to love it. It's just part of the process. So that's what Spirit is saying. Okay? Beautiful, sacred, male, archetypical energy. The impetus of creation coming right after this. Okay? A signification not only of death and rebirth, right? But new birth, new life coming through this portal. This is where you arrive. That's really beautiful. Having this beautiful male archetypical energy to help you move forward when the inspiration arrives. I love it. I love this card. That's how I live my life, in a way. So look, check it out. More battle. It's really interesting. Okay, so first, this beautiful woman. Woman of battle. Check her out. This is a woman to be reckoned with. And you know what? You see what she has around her neck? That is the amulet of the initiate. If you look back, I think it was May when that card arrived. And there she stands, firm in her power, in the same way that the warrior of skill stands. She has her power in her hands. She is possessed of her personal power. That is what the spear means. And look at the clarity, the strength, the bravery. That woman is 100% grounded. She's there in every way that a spirit being walking in a human body can be here. That's where she's at. Isn't she amazing? And she's just like the warrior of skill. She waits for the moment to arrive, and she stands ready. This woman, in terms of warriorship, is, according to the mythology of the deck, she is often the first woman, the first person into the gap when there is a need. Look at that. Beautiful. Dressed in her passion is the phrase that's coming through. And look, Spirit wants me to do this. See that? Okay? There we are. That's the adventure you're going on. So, often you'll hear me say this is a fertile moment. This is a particularly fertile moment because we have both male and female warriorship energy here. Very, very interesting. And do you see how they stand looking at each other? Isn't that fascinating? Okay? So, he's bringing the inspiration. And it's going to move him forward. And she stands at the ready to move that energy forward. That's her job. It's very fantastic how the spirit information comes through these cards in these moments. And Spirit often asks me, and I'm getting some messaging now about asking you to think very deeply about the profound archetypical meaning of the blending of these energies. You see? Look at that. See that? Look. There you go. That's beautiful. Really, truly. A beautiful change. An evolutionary change, and clearly a rebirth. Okay. So, when this energy blends, and this impulse comes, here's what's going to happen. Okay? There is an adventure coming. The adventure of knowledge. Look at this young man, dressed in his finery. What's interesting to me about this is that the full moon is here. This is about something that happens when remember the name of the holiday. The day after Halloween. Is it the celebration of the Day of the Dead? Something like that. In a lot of cultures, in a lot of different religions, there is a day when death is celebrated. Souls are celebrated. Those who have come across. And when we see the way the story is unwinding, having definitely come through, what I'm getting is this is kind of a reincarnation story almost with these energies. Here we are, locked in battle, liberated because our energy is being perfected. This is how we come out the other side. And I'm hearing we. I mean, that's the message that's coming from Spirit. I'm talking a little bit about humanity. So, as a Scorpio, your energy has its place. Your evolving story has a very important place because it affects the energy of all of humanity. That's why there are 12 different energy set points. Well, there are many more than that, but for this topic, right? Okay, so this is about, it's interesting. This is another message about reaching a goal after significant hard work. When time, after some elapsing of time through the seasons, and again, I just want to remind you, the outcome last month was the Perfecter of Energy, the World card, signifying beautiful shift and change, coming into yourself in a way that's very deeply profound, and having that be a process that takes all 4 seasons. It just takes some time. So, this person stepped out as a warrior to take part in a tradition. Back in the ancient days, right, people were, there were gallows in pretty much every town. People were hung. He stepped out on this night under the light of the full moon to take part in this tradition, to prove his bravery, something that was really gruesome and frightening. And the goal was to take this rope and put it around one of the corpses. And, in a way to prove that you're strong enough to touch death and come through. When he stepped out into this field, he had a vision. He went through a portal, just like that. And he had a vision. And the vision he had was of the town, the fort that he lived in, burning to the ground. And in that moment, he crossed over and he ran into or met a fairy woman, a banshee, asked for help, made an alliance with that woman. She helped him understand how to prevent this negative outcome. And he traveled back to the earthly realm and prevented this negative outcome from happening. And helped him come into his power, into his psychic ability. And eventually what happened was he traveled back and forth a few times into the land of the fairies. And he came here with his human self. He did the job that needed to be done. And then he traveled back across and lived across the veil with the fairies for the rest of his time. So, given how the story is unfolding, that's a very interesting message about this impulse, about your warriorship. This is the next phase. There is some adventure coming to you that has to do with this liberation in this new place you're standing. Let's see what's here. She was here last month. I'm pretty sure she was up in this spirit realm. This is fantastic. Okay, now I get it. See that? Combat of skill. Warrior of skill and combat of skill. Battle cards. Woman of battle and warrior, adventure of knowledge. All right? So, look. There's a couple messages to see. If you have not taken the time to watch the videos that are on a playlist on my channel having to do with the eclipses that came through in February, I'm urging you to go do it. That's very important background information. So, everything I just said, going across, finding the this banshee who helped him with magical assistance when he went across and he had this vision. Look at that. This woman is the sacred hag. She controlled, in the background of this story, she controlled water, the most precious resource that exists. And you know, in the mythology of this deck, it's about life energy. Clearly. Abundance. Look at her. You know, when the eclipse happened in February, one of them happened on the full moon and the other one happened on the new moon. That's why I'm telling you, go look at those videos. There's an evolving story here that's really important for you, Scorpio. You know, because you go so deep. And that's why this is here in such a mystical way. So, you know, this is about bursting through illusions. That's what he had to do. He had to be brave enough to go and burst through his fear of death, his fear of change, and facing his own death. He had a vision that everything was going to burn to the ground. It's not at all what happened. He had a very charmed life, but he had to step out and face it. And that's what had to happen in this story. There were 3 young warriors that were sent out to find water for a king. Each one of them, although they went off in separate directions, one at a time, they encountered this woman who's a hag. I look at her and I think, my gosh, she's beautiful, but, you know, she's filled with warts, etc. Each one of them asked her for access to the water. She agreed each time and said, yes, you can have the water. All you need to do is give me a kiss. And of course, as fairy tales go, most of them couldn't do it and ran away. There was one young warrior who was able to face it, face his fears, put his arms around her with love and compassion and thanks and acknowledgement for her help. And he gave her a kiss, and in that moment she transformed. So this entire message, and I know the video's going long, but Spirit has a lot to say, this is about transformation. Last month, having been promised the perfection of your energy going forward, this is the first step. You are coming through a significant shift and change, having come through this portal, and you are being prepared for the next set of eclipses that are coming next month in August. And this is what catapults you into your spiritual adventure this month. As if you weren't already there. Look. Okay. Spirit said put it down. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. I'm going to scroll in a little bit. No, it's not going to work. All right. This is the Empowerer. Look at that. The Empowerer of Will. Again, we see a vision of the head, which means your soul, sitting on the lap of this beautiful female warrior. This is the goddess of victory. Her sword is unbeatable. You see the rabbit? In the ancient days, in the Celtic tradition, they would bring a hare to the battleground in a basket. And when the armies were lined up and the battle was ready to begin, they would let the hare out and watch how it ran across the battlefield and use it as a divinatory tool to help them understand how to fight the battle and what the aspects that were affecting the outcome were. In the traditional tarot, this is the Strength card. Here it has a much deeper meaning. It's about coming into your strength and using the movement of your soul to help you understand how to reach victory in your journey, in your pathway. And so Spirit is saying, please look into the cards and understand the story that is evolving based on how the energy is running through the cards. Okay? It's pretty amazing. Look at this. I could talk for 2 hours. I promise I won't do it to you. And there we are, the Judgment of Battle. This is about a young warrior who has won. He has killed the sacred hound of an evil king. He is definitely victorious. He's very happy with himself. He made it through. He's worn and tattered and tired. And again, there's a hut behind him. He's come to a place of safety, having been through this incredible journey that he's been on. And now he just rests, and he stands in his place, firm in his understanding of himself, having been victorious against a power much greater than he is. And one of the things he had to do, see I don't know if you can tell, that was a magical hound. Probably, it looks like an Irish wolfhound, employed by the king to gain domination in the battle. So, sitting next to this, with the hare, arriving in this place, victory assured here, and here is the young victorious warrior, now taking some rest, and having the time and the ability to just think about what he has been through, and the outcome, and where he will go, leading forward from this place. Let's see. Look, oh my God. You know, Scorpio, you're so awesome. This is really astounding. Look at that. Look at that. Major Arcana. This is the Dreamer of Growth. And you know, honestly, I'm getting kind of choked up. The Dreamer of Growth is very deeply rooted across the veil. Look. The double-headed dreamer. We see this in lots of ancient cultural heritage sites across the globe. The ability to see in both directions. The ability to dream, prophetic dreams. To perform astral travel, to manifest. And reminding us here that we come from the stars. Literally, we are stardust here in this realm. You know, if you Spirit's talking to me about science, okay? Science and religion. Spirit's saying they line up and in certain places, okay? So, yes, we are here on the earth, descended from exploding stars and the aftermath of that event. Here in this deep spiritual way, walking in these human bodies. And now you have come across and been liberated in order to be able to step into your higher sacred vision and join your energy with Spirit. Having come through these battles in your life, busting through the illusions because you're brave enough and the time is right. Spirit's telling me the time is just right. That's why this is the first card over the top of the reading, to let you know it is the moment. You have arrived. You have arrived. That's what Spirit keeps telling me. So let's look at the outcome. Look. Oh gosh. Woman of knowledge. Do you see that? Look. How beautiful. This Spirit it just always blows my mind. All right. So, a bunch of things about this card. This woman is dressed in this midnight blue garment. She is of the other side, but she is here in this realm. And she picks herbs and flowers for healing. She is picking them from a grave. And the bones of the person who is buried there literally provided the seed, if you will, for these plants to grow up. They're growing right out of the gravestone. You see, there's the spiral. See? It is her brother's grave. There's a long story. I'm not going to go into it because I've been talking quite a bit. But basically, her brother was a healer. And she joined him in the healing arts. He went through a death process. And his death created massive amounts of healing. And he was so powerful that even in his death, his bones threw off herbs and flowers for healing. So, you know, when we look at these cards and this outcome, and last month the outcome, the perfecting of your energy, and this month it's all about warriorship in a really profound way, discussing with you sacred warriorship and the battles, the challenges, the adventures that you are going to have along this path. And it is the path to victory and healing for you on a soul level. Very profoundly so. And Spirit is saying, take some time, pause the video, look into these cards to understand the deeper aspect of this message. It's a beautiful message with your victory not only assured, but again, last month, perfection of your energy, a process that was starting, and this month, a part of that process is your healing in a very profound way through these adventures and through this liberation. So we have two cards here that are really about liberation, death, and rebirth and healing, and this sits in the middle. It's very profound and, really interesting. Look at that. And this. It's so fascinating to me. All the representations of the way energy patterns flow and how they change and the direction they are meant to be going in. The sacred hair is here. So pay attention to your thoughts and your dreams and your energy and your moods this coming month, because the hair of this energy inside of you is running across this beautiful sacred battlefield in order to bring you to this destination, because there is healing coming to you as you step on to the next phase of your development. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for being the deep, beautiful, watery soul that you are, and for being the steward of this energy. Spirit, I'm getting a big nudge, and that's what Spirit is saying. Yes, there are thanks coming across because you are here in your physical realm being a steward to a certain kind of energy that's very deep, very, very deep. And that's why the cards are coming the way they are. Spirit wants you to be able to feel the vibration coming off the cards as the story unfolds. So I'll be looking forward to speaking with you in August. We're going to have our next eclipse season. I'm going to continue my own inward journey. The information about the readings is in the description box. I'm pretty sure I said that. And if you have time and you feel so inspired, I would love to hear about your own journey. Put some messages on the thread, the discussion thread below the video. Thank you, Scorpio, so much. Have a wonderful month, and I'll very much be looking forward to speaking with you in August.